Welcome back, everyone, to our hard career as we revisit Jeb's hard-hitting landing from episode 1. We did lose Jebediah Kerman right there, but I'm gonna speed this next launch up. Our goal here was to launch into high space above Kerbin in the 500,000 to maybe a million range. And I knew that the two solid rocket boosters would get you to, I know it gets you to around the 200,000 mark, so I figured three would get us, quite a bit higher, close to that 500,000 to a million range, which is what I was looking for. But as we start to launch here, immediately notice that it doesn't come off the pad quite as hard down there. We're about 1.5, 1.75 thrust to weight ratio down there at the G meter there, and then we jettison that first stage, and it's still not very high. But I'm hopeful that we're going to get there, and I start looking here for the first time. We see that we're only to about a 10,000 meter apoapse, which is not nearly high enough. Now, we jettison the last stage there, or jettison the second stage there, and we start going, and I think our apoapse only gets to something in the range of, I want to say, like 130,000 meters, which is not nearly high enough, but in the hard career mode, we can't revert flights, we can't do anything like that, so we do have to complete the mission ultimately. So, try not to make the mistake again and try not to kill Valentina Kerman here. But I was hopeful that maybe we could, get high still, but there's just not enough solid rocket fuel left to get us to that high elevation that we were expecting. So, we take it all the way up to the top because we did not get that science from Jebediah. So, I kind of collect what little bit of science we can. We don't get very much, obviously. So, as we're coming down here, we will jettison that last solid rocket booster. And my hope at this point was maybe we'll come down on the ocean, but I believe we actually end up landing behind Kerbal Space Center. So we land in the grasslands again, which doesn't give us any additional science. So we do land, we do get a successful flight, but that does put us in a bit of a bind with our cache, which is something we will realize here in a moment. Enough to get our radial decouplers, if nothing else. So what are our missions now? Can't really do any of these. Yeah, I'm going to try to get to orbit with this flight, I guess. Which could be a challenge. It's going to be definitely a more expensive flight. I'm never quite sure how much of these to add. I think that would be good. Right there. How much thrust does this have? About 200. Man, I really don't know if this is going to make it to orbit or not. Well, number one, it's too big. Well, we're going to call it Orbiter 1. just in case we do make it to orbit. Oh man. It's kind of leveraging that we're gonna make it. It's half of our money. Well, if we're leveraging it all on this, might as well put some fins, both stages. And fingers crossed. Kind of nervous. And I have to make it to orbit on this flight, or else this career is kaput. It's a good start. Go straight. Go up. Launch pad. I don't know. We at least need to get really far away. So that wouldn't even do it. We have to get to orbit. Because I don't even think we can afford to launch this craft again. And I just really don't think we're going to make it. Start to do our gravity turn here. I want to dip us down to about 25 or maybe 30 by the time we get there. If I can bring the thrust down a bit. Really wanted to pull straight up again. You can see the T-45 gimbaling there. Thrust down some more. It was really risky upgrading that launch pad. We had to. Gauge and see if we're getting closer. Looks like it's still pushing, which is good. Really don't know. I feel better about our chances than I did about 30 seconds ago. Take it down to the prograde node. Going a bit fast. We might make it. pushing. Hoping I'm just going to get our Apple apps to maybe like 73, 74. So that way we get the lowest possible orbit while still achieving orbit. It's going to be close. Push down a bit here. Get our vertical speed a bit higher. We get here. Oh, 5,000 for 5760, so almost 6,000. So that gives us enough money to launch our craft. We should get quite a bit further than 100 kilometers when we eventually land here. Looking no drag. So getting close to the point where we're going to cut our thrusters. Maybe I'm going to get maybe 75 or so. Good. Good news is there's no atmospheric drag on our ship. And it looks like we're going to need maybe like about 400 delta V, which may be a bit more than we can get. I think. Gosh, okay, I got to dip. Dip down, dip down, dip down, and go. Come on. And looks like we're going to get the orbit. Nice. As soon as we get to that 75, that Apple apps, we're going to push because our Perry apps is still a bit in the atmosphere. We got to push that up to about 70, which is only 55 meters, which should take like no burn at all, just like that. And there's our orbit. Entered orbit. All that money. That was the most kind of stressful ascent that I've had in a while. Now, how high is this? Plenty. We should have plenty of delta V to get back out of orbit, which is good as well. That was kind of a stressful ascent, that's for sure, because we basically kind of leveraged everything on that. We're going to try to land as close to the Kerbal Space Center as we can. Just got to go. Good news, we're out of orbit. And that will hopefully be good. Get a good orbit, disable SAS, and hopefully we'll land close to the Kerbal Space Center. We might land over here in this kind of field area on the other side of the mountains, but that's okay. We're on the same continent, so I think it saves you a little bit on the recovery costs. Which is good. Oh, we didn't even do the science. We're worried about the money. Getting some good science here. It's about 7. There we go. Sounds good. Got a good amount of science out of that, so. That's good. Where are we looking as far as our landing? We might land pretty close. It's probably going to come up a bit shy, but that's okay. Heat shield is starting to go down a little bit here. Yeah, it's probably going to cut us a bit short. Maybe. We might be good. Let's see the continent showing up. The descent profile is still. Worst case scenario is we land like on the mountains, which would really suck because you don't get as much time to bleed off speed. Might be what's going to happen, actually. As long as we get the parachutes gray before we get down there, and we'll even do an EVA when we get there, we are good. Well, as you can see, we came down from a rather stressful ascent there. We kind of had leveraged everything on that flight. With only having 18,000 Kerbal bucks left, we launched, it was about a 10,000 Kerbal bucks craft. But we did manage to make it to orbit and got all the science that we could from orbit. Uh, got the money from the mission as well as the milestones in the career. So we should be good to go for the foreseeable future. But that's it for this episode. And until next time, thanks for watching.